The elite and under-23 women's races at the African Continental Championships had a total of 14 riders from 7 nations. In the elite women's race, the defending champion Mariska Strauss was not there due to a long-term illness, so it presented a chance for Candice Lill to add the Continental Champions jersey to the South African Champions jersey she won on this track in March. Tyler Jacobs won the junior title in Windhoek a year ago and has stepped right up to elite level, such has been her meteoric rise in cross-country racing. Sarah Hill was making a rare appearance on a cross-country track. More a marathon specialist, Sarah hasn't raced on the short stuff this year at all. Zimbabwe had 2 riders in Stacey Hislop and Helen Mitchell, and Kenya were represented by Nancy Debe and Aurelie Holbach wore the colours of Mauritius. Women would do 5 laps in perfect racing weather. Starting like a house on fire was Jacobs as she led Lill up the first climb. Hill was ahead of Holbach, a few seconds behind the leading pair. Then it was Lahani Oosthuizen with Hislop trying to pass Nancy Debe. The women's under-23 race featured just 6 riders: Anneke van der Walt and Jade Skinner from South Africa, Tshepiso Lerata of Lesotho, Lebobo Kono from Botswana, Raje Chakir of Morocco, and Jazila Mwamikazi of Rwanda. They were to do 4 laps, and on the initial climb, it was Van der Walt who escaped, with Mwamikazi leading the rest of the riders around 3 seconds back. Botswana's corner was drifting off the pace early on. Back with the elite women, and Candice Lill was well in control, having taken 32 seconds out of Taylor Jacobs on the first lap. Jacobs nearly overshooting the tight hairpin bend in her haste to try and close the gap. And Sarah Hill was over 2 minutes back after lap 1 and in 3rd place. Multiple Mauritian champion in various disciplines, Aurelie Holbach was 4th and clear of Zimbabwean Hislop in 5th as she went through the start-finish. The top 3 are all highly skilled technical riders. The super experienced Lill, super smooth. Jacobs handling the rocks, no problem. And Hill, who has raced downhill in her time, wasting little time on the jump. The feed and tech zones can be tricky in a busy race, but Lill was under no pressure. Drop the old bottle and collect a new one, no problem. Likewise for Tyler Jacobs. Lill finished 25th in the first round of the UCI World Cup in Novo Mesto in the Czech Republic a month earlier, and is clearly in fine shape, evidenced by the way she posted the fastest lap times consistently at Thaba Trails. In the absence of Lill, Jacobs won the Bloemfontein round of the South African Cross Country Cup a week earlier. The versatile Hill, meanwhile, took the win in the Race to the Sun gravel race over 160 kilometres. Equally versatile Holbach won the African title in 2017 and is also an accomplished road and marathon mountain bike racer. Stacey Hislop of Zimbabwe won the under-23 cross-country title in Cairo in 2018. Lahani Oosthuizen from the Western Cape is a late bloomer in mountain biking and an example to those chasing their dreams. A fearless, committed rider, she has fine skills. In the under-23 race, Jazila Mwamikazi had managed to pass Anneke van der Walt on the second lap of 4 and was now leading the race. Van der Walt was showing neat skills as she put it all out there in an effort to catch the Rwandan. The rock drop can be an intimidating feature as the riders have to pick a line at high pace lap after lap. Lill, Jacobs and third place Hill all showing consummate skill and confidence in dealing with the obstacle. Kenya's Nancy Debe was putting in a fighting ride to try and hold off Oosthuizen in the battle for 6th place. Mwamikazi was heading for victory in the under-23 race. The incentive of earning a good haul of UCI ranking points was too good to resist for Lill, who took time out from a European campaign to fly back specially for the Continental Champs. Jacobs, bearing the scars of an earlier fall, was also in for a good haul of points, which would improve her starting position on the intense packed under-23 World Cup circuit. Having just lapped Botswana's Lebobo Kono, Jazila Mamikazi was on her final lap in the under-23 race. Anneke van der Walt was still in second place, around a minute and a half behind her. Morocco's Raja Chakir was on the charge in third, putting in her fastest lap as she needed to because Jade Skinner was also on a hot final lap. But there was no stopping the winner, Rwanda's Jazila Mamikazi, putting together 4 flawless laps to take the win in the under-23 race by a minute and 34 seconds from Anneke van der Walt. And 7th in the junior race a year ago, Raja Chakir took 3rd place for Morocco. The elite women's race was a singular triumph for South Africa's Candice Lill, as she soloed to a dominant win, completing the 5 laps in 1 hour, 26 minutes and 3 seconds. It was clearly a result that meant a great deal to the delighted South African champion. Junior champion a year ago, Tyler Jacobs of Computer Mania continues to shoot the lights out, as she rolled home in 2nd place despite having a big fall. And Sarah Hill marked her return to XCO racing with a hard-earned 3rd place, her best result since winning an SA Cup race in 2021. Aurelie Holbachs of Mauritius was 4th.
I actually had to fly in from Europe for this race because it's such good points, and luckily it was worth it. I've done this course before for nationals. I really like it. I feel strong on it, and I was able to have a lot of fun out there today as well and take the win.
I've had races for the past 6 weeks. Coming from Czech, I wasn't able to do the short track because I wasn't seeded high enough. So this race was really important for points, for seeding for the next World Cup. So I'm happy with how I did in terms of points and looking forward to the next World Cup in a week's time. My big goal for this year is probably World Champs, just to see how high up I can get for that. Otherwise, just probably the short track, to try get into the short track and see how I can do in that.
So cross country feels quite foreign to me, being an ultra distance racer and marathon racer, but I really wanted to come test my legs, see how I can do. I had a good start, and from there I thought, all right, well, I'm in it, let's see if you can hold on to 3rd. And I'm grateful that I can. Thaba Trails is kind of where I originated in terms of riding mountain bikes, so it's good to come back to my roots, and what a fab course, sure.
A proud moment for Jazila Mamikazi of Rwanda, as she stepped forward to be crowned African Under-23 cross-country champion. The champion's jersey and the gold medal to take back to Kigali. Silver for Tyler Jacobs and Candice Lill the gold medal, with Sarah Hill taking the bronze medal in the women's elite race. Congratulations all. The elite men's field had 23 starters representing 9 countries. Aside from the 10 South Africans, Botswana, Zimbabwe and Lesotho had 3 riders each. Namibia, Mauritius, Rwanda, Tunisia and Morocco had 1 rider apiece. The major absentee was the Commonwealth Games bronze medalist and defending champion Alex Miller from Namibia, who was ill. The elite men did 6 laps of the punishing course at Thaba Trails. On the first climb, Moroccan Habouria Meyer found himself leading the pack, followed by Phil Bass, Jaden Turlo, Luke Boyer and Johan van Zyl, all of South Africa, with the Namibian Hugo Hahn in 6th. But it didn't take long for quality to rise to the top as Bass moved to the front. He won the South African title on this track a few months ago. Behind him was the first-year elite Johan van Zyl, who pushed Bass all the way in the SA Cup event in Bloemfontein recently. Hahn was 3rd, followed by Luke Moyer. Van Zyl was able to stay with Bass on the first lap, while Hahn, Moyer and Johan de Villiers all locked in battle for 3rd. Mauritian Alexandre Meyer around the top 10, while early leader Meyer was just behind him. Thaba Trails boss Wendell Bowl looking on, they tackled the tricky butchers away in Rock Garden. Turlo, followed by Ignatius Duprier and Jordan Boshoff on his wheel. Top-ranked Lesotho racer Tumelo Marke was also in the fight for a top 10 place. Bass opened a gap to Van Zyl by taking 22 seconds out of the Computer Mania man on lap 2. Freed from the responsibility of running a big racing team, Bass has found some of the best form of his career this year. Van Zyl had an impressive start to his year, which included finishing 30th at the ultra-competitive Nova Mesto World Cup round a month ago. The Boerlander is a powerhouse pocket rocket with a bright future in the sport. Bass, who won the first of his 4 previous Continental titles back in 2012, made short work of the rock descents. Van Zyl was around 50 seconds back after 3 laps. Well-practiced lines and superb control as he made short work of the drop. Number 13 was veteran Jan Vittar, and he had young Luke Boyer breathing down his neck in the battle for 5th place. Bass, though, was in complete control up front, lapping consistently under 15 minutes. The man making a big late move was Jaden Turlo, another new name to the elite XCO ranks as he moved up to 6th place. He wasn't going to catch the Page Eurosteel man Bass, and unlikely to hunt down 2nd place Van Zyl after the leading pair had gapped their rivals during the first half of the race. Jordan Boshoff was in 4th place but clearly fatigued as he took it carefully down the rocks. Keen to close the gap was Vittar. Turlo was on the charge. The steep climbs held no fear for the 21-year-old, who's riding on the road this year for Team Honeycomb. Bass was all smooth efficiency as he ticked off another pacey lap at Baldwin Sport Thaba Trails. Van Zyl was not making any mistakes, but just couldn't match the firepower of Philip Bass. Jordan Boshoff's hopes of a podium place were dashed when he had to replace a wheel on lap 5. Jan Vittar passed the stationary Boshoff to take 3rd, as did Jaden Turlo. With a lap to go, the race was on for the final spot on the podium. Van Zyl took the bell around 1 minute and 45 seconds behind Philip Bass. Surely too much to make up on the final lap, but he wasn't going to die wondering. Behind them, Turlo's late race surge had paid off as he powered past Vittar and into 3rd place. Quality cross-country racing by the versatile young man. And a top-quality ride by South African champion Philip Bass as he collected a 5th African Continental title in 11 years. 1 hour, 28 minutes and 29 seconds was his time for the 6 laps. An aggressive, brave final lap of 14 minutes 59 brought Van Zyl home just 1 minute and 21 seconds later, a superb result by the Computer Mania rider. The race for 3rd came down to a sprint, with Jaden Turlo having just too much power and holding off Jan Vittar to clinch a wonderful result and the final step on the podium. Jordan Boshoff fought on to finish in 5th place. Hugo Hahn was the best non-South African finisher in 6th.
Yeah, so Continental Champs is really important for the cross country. It's probably the most UCI points you can get locally. It was sort of a bit tricky to get it in this season because initially it was postponed, but it just worked out for me because we're actually heading to Frankfurt tonight to start go to Berg, and so I was lucky enough to squeeze it in before we go there, and unfortunately I can't race the short course, but I think today was the main event, and good UCI points in the bag.
It was really important for me. We don't have a lot of points, I got like 120 points. So hopefully we can go for the short track now.
The track is proper hard. The climbs are super steep, and the downhills obviously also steep. But yeah, it's quite a nice and flowing course. You got to find your rhythm, and it's super easy to overcook it, especially in the first few laps. That's what I did today. I just held back on the first few laps. The guys absolutely sent it, and then I started catching them one by one as the race goes on, and ended up 3rd, so pretty happy with that.
Stepping forward to collect the African Junior Champions jersey, a proud Ernest Roots. Marcy Ambrosi was 2nd, and Daniel Hahn, the winner a year ago, will take the bronze medal back to Namibia. It was a proud time, the anthems. In the under-23s, Matthew Scott took the bronze medal, Daniel van der Walt the silver, and Michael Foster from KZN took home the champions jersey and the gold medal. And the elite men's podium was an all-South African affair. Jaden Turlo in 3rd, Johan van Zyl 2nd, and gold and the Continental Champions jersey once again for South Africa's preeminent domestic cross-country racer, Philip Bass. In a week's time, we will focus on the African Continental short track races at Thaba Trails. Don't miss it.